I'm making a soup with the last of the chicken stock from yesterday's video, and if you watch till the end, I'll show you what I add to take a simple soup next level. I'm at my happiest in the kitchen when all the ingredients are prepped. To give this soup an extra chickeny flavor, I've started with the leftover chicken fat from my roast chicken and added some olive oil. Then I inspected my bag of onions and pulled all the ones that needed to be used next. And that's usually how I figure out how much of what is going to go in my soup. And by the way, I wish you could smell these onions frying in the chicken fat. After they've softened a bit, I'm adding some garlic and ginger. I keep fresh ginger in the freezer and then break off what I need to use for a recipe. Then they get mixed around in the pan with the onions to make friends with a little bit of salt. Once I start smelling onions and ginger, I know it's time to add the next ingredient, which in this case is celery, and a couple of jalapenos that I needed to use. And I add a little kosher salt every time I add an ingredient that doesn't already have salt added, because I'm a big believer that seasoning as you go helps develop the flavor. I lightly season for every ingredient, and I can always add a little more at the end if I need to, but usually this strategy gets me pretty close. Diced carrots are next, because I got a new bag of carrots, so I had to use up the few that were left from the old bag of carrots. The rest of my ingredients are substantially softened, but I'll only cook these carrots for a minute or two before adding the stock. That way they can mingle with the other vegetables, but most of their cooking will happen with the simmer, and that way they won't get too soft. I'm adding all of my leftover chicken stock, which is a little over 2 quarts, and that has just a little bit of salt in it already, so I won't add any additional salt at this point, but I will add one of my favorite ingredients for soups, which is a little bit of MSG, which will add a nice deep savoriness with just a little sprinkle. Then, as with all soups, bring to boil, then reduce to simmer and lid it. And then I like to let it simmer for at least 20 to 30 minutes before I give it a taste and see if it needs more salt or if anything needs to be adjusted. And now for the ingredient you've been waiting for, frozen dumplings. Normally I would use chicken, today all I have is pork, and I'm only going to add as many dumplings as we're eating today, because they just need to simmer in the soup for 5 minutes or so, no longer than 10 or they'll start to fall apart. And they will turn this simple soup into a satisfying supper. My favorite dumplings to add are either the chicken or pork pot stickers from Trader Joe's. Thank you so much for watching until the end, because that's what helps get my videos seen. I hope you'll follow for more simple and budget-friendly recipes, as well as kitchen tips and even a little gardening to help make your kitchen your happy place. Happy eating!